just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry.
Alright, so we just went for a day sail and Spandana was amazing. She got into the dock first try, took me 20 tries, she backed up, she got it right on the first go. Just like very smooth, right in there, no problems. And then I had to figure out how to line handle very quickly because I hadn't done it before and I thought it was going to take much longer. So yeah, that went really well. So we're all docked up now and we're going to try out basically seeing on the current 5 batteries that we have, are we able to cook lunch? So we've got our oven running over here. We ran our rice cooker before on battery power over here. And we're going to try also using the induction cooktop to make some dumplings. So I'm going to keep an eye on the battery level. So far it looks like it's holding up okay. And yeah, see if it can handle cooking a full meal with all 3 of these things, just to like get a feeling for how much power we can actually draw before we kind of overload the batteries. Okay, so right now we have the oven running. It's an electric oven, so we don't have the shore power plugged in, and so we have our battery monitor over here. Unfortunately, they all disagree with each other. This one, which is a little hard to see, says that we are at 11.3 volts. This one thinks we're at 11.85 volts, and the analog one that came with the boat thinks that we are at, looks like 12.1 volts. So unfortunately, since these all seem to disagree, I'm just going to go with the one that seems to think that our batteries are still full even though they're under heavy load, which is a Victron controller, and hopefully that is correct. I mean, we're continuing to have the oven run, so seems like that one is right, that things are still okay for now. Okay, so we're going to make some dumplings. I'm just going to put the pan on without anything in it and see how the induction responds to, the batteries respond to the induction cooktop. I'm just going to lower down the heat. Okay, yeah. Almost half as much of a draw as the oven is. So as long as we're not using both at once, I think it's okay. Let's see if the battery survives the cooking of the dumplings. Okay, so the food is done cooking. Everything is standing by. And if we take a look at our battery level, Victron still thinks we're at full battery and 12.7 volts. This one seems to think we're about halfway down, hard to see there. And our voltage over here is at almost 13. So the sun is out, so that might be a reason that we're getting all these different numbers. But yeah, basically seems like it works fine. So that's really good news. That means basically we can cook a whole meal with rice, 2 dishes, and at least as far as our battery monitor is concerned, that there's no real full drain that's happening on the batteries. So yeah, we'll continue to test it out, but it seems like we should be good with these batteries for now. We were worried we'd actually have to upgrade to lithium or just bigger batteries or something to be able to kind of live aboard and not rely on shore power. So this has been a really good test for us to know the limits of the system. Over here, we have a Spandana in the wild. Watch as she uses chopsticks and a knife to prepare lunch.
You're a goofball.
You're a goofball.
Alright, so we are finishing up lunch. Finishing up preparing lunch to have some. What I also really like is that we are able to maybe hang on to all of our electronic versions of everything. Because our hope and goal is to eventually make this boat fully electric. So, electric stove cooking things, electric engine, electric motor for the outboard. We heard Torpedo is a really cool one. But the idea is to get propane and diesel and gas off of this boat eventually. That may be in a year, that may be 2-3 years or sooner, we're not sure. But for now, we are really happy to know that at least for cooking, we've yet to turn on the propane. We've serviced both of them and their full tanks, but we've yet to need to use them. So, yeah. Yay.
So I think the previous owners did me a favor by getting the connections to be regular sink hose connections, because what's coming from the tank are these like gray hoses that I've never seen before, but they actually have like regular like screw-on sink connectors connected to those, and it's a regular sink connection on top. So this should be the same as replacing a normal kitchen sink, except for the fact that I have a staircase in my back and this thing doesn't open because of this foot pedal over here. So other than those two things, perfectly normal.
Boat yoga.
Boat yoga. Oh no. That's cold, that's hot. Okay. So I was wrong. So they did not transition the old pipes into a modern sink fittings. Instead, they transitioned it to something that's completely unrecognizable. I'm not sure how to exactly get it apart. So instead, what we have in our boat mostly is what's called PB, or let me find the right word for this here. It's polybutylene, which is this old gray thin piping that they stopped using in around mid-1990s because eventually chlorine breaks it down and it bursts. So many applications have suggest just completely replumbing everything, and I think eventually we might want to for our boat. But for now, all we really need is a fitting that will transition it from PB to PEX, which I eventually think we should redo everything in PEX anyway. So yeah, we're going to go to Home Depot or some other hardware store and find this fitting, and hopefully that'll allow us to finish setting up the sink.
All right, Dave, what's the update?
Well, managed to burn myself a little bit with the heat gun. These are very dangerous, be very careful. And I think I've got the first fitting on.
So what's been the update since this morning?
So we've got the PB, the stuff we're working with, is very much out of date. No real fittings available for it. And the size that we have also is not great. So unfortunately we have to basically not be able to use like the shark bite fittings I was hoping to use, and instead use basically these like shove it onto the fitting and with a heat gun and then just clamp it off. So I think I've got it on far enough. We're going to connect this up and see if it works okay. All right, so after about 7 trips to the hardware store, we finally found connectors that work, forced them in with a hot heat gun, and everything is now set up. So we've got our faucet working over there after Spandana sanded it down the hole and managed to get it all the way in. So we finally got that working, hot and cold. Down here, we've got brand new connectors. On the one side, we have the PB, the old connection over there, and then we've got a adapter in the middle, and that goes right to our hoses. So yeah, there we go. Work in sync.
So, boat life. So we are making some Peruvian chicken and some rice and beans, and I wanted to make some cilantro sauce, but we don't have a blender, and so I'm trying to do it in the mortar and pestle. And so I'm just finishing up chopping up some jalapeno to go in with it, and we are gonna mortar and pestle our way through it. Please excuse the mess in the back. This is cooking in the middle of projects, which means everything is strewn everywhere. So some salt, some jalapeno, cilantro, mayonnaise, lemon juice, pepper, and let's see if we get some sort of some sort of a paste going. Tune in and find out.
We finished up making the rice, beans, and chicken, as well as the green sauce that Spandana grinded together over something like an hour. And yeah, everything looks delicious.
Day full of both projects, but a good meal to start it off is the best way to do it. So, bon appetit!
To me, it seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right.
Okay. Alright. I'm sure all of you have been so worried about this, but Dave is gonna get a haircut today. This is hopefully gonna get fixed.
I'm sitting on a bucket.
Boat life. Okay.
It's a nice view, though.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck on you.
Alright.
I love the things you did for me. For me, it seems like you're dropping clues. There's no need to rush, so let's just take our time. Dropping everything, 'cause you're stuck on my mind. My mind. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh.
Okay, well, so we had a very busy day today. We fixed the sink, we got the dinghy off the davits, we have the lines for the dinghy actually on, ready to go and get replaced. So yeah, we're selling now for the evening. I have a little bit of chips and salsa, and then we are going to clean up some of these, what do you call these again?
Police?
Pulleys, yeah, pulleys that were holding up the dinghy. Baking soda, get all the rust off of those, and get those in good shape. And yeah, been a very productive day.
Your hair looks great.
Oh yes, and I have an excellent haircut. I think it looks very good. Spandana did a great job on it. Thank you, Spandana.
You're welcome.
All right, bye bye.